Basically, the major difference is in retention. Today's research tells us that when you read something, an average human being, what he reads, he retains 10% of what he has read. Average human being. What a person hears, what he hears, an average human being, he retains 20% of what he has heard. What a person sees, an average human being retains 30% of what he has seen. What a person hears and sees together, it's called as video. Video is the short form of? Everyone knows video? You know the meaning of video, raise your hand. Who knows the meaning of video? Video you don't know. How did you pass the test? Video, you know video. You don't know. Not the short form. You know, everyone knows. But do we think where it's come from? What is the root word? It's visual and audio. VI of visual and audio, AUDIO. So video, it's a coining of new word. Video means visual and audio put together. We are learning Dawa here, but we are learning many things, inshallah. I've been using this word video for 20 years. I did not know it means visual and audio. So, if you see and hear together video, the average human being retains 50% of what he has seen and heard together. So which is better, reading or hearing or seeing? Which is better? Seeing and hearing together, best amongst these three things. This is research. Not done by Muslims, by non-Muslims, but research. If you read the Edgar scale, again research, and that's a new revision in my notes that is there. There's a cone of learning, called a cone of learning. Same thing. What you read. After 2 weeks, you retain 10%. What you read. If someone asks you after 2 weeks, 10% average human being will retain. What you hear, after 2 weeks, you will retain 20%. What you see, after 2 weeks, you retain 30%. What you hear and see, like movies, you will retain 50%. He goes a step further and says that what you say, after 2 weeks, you retain 70%. For example, you have prepared for a speech. Correct? Everyone prepared for the 3-minute speech? If you prepare, you say it. After 2 weeks, I tell you repeat it. Average human being will only be able to repeat 70%. Some may be able to repeat 100%, average. So what you say, you retain average 70% for 2 weeks. But we are not here to teach you for 2 weeks. We want it to be permanent, inshallah. That's the reason. Repetition, rehearsal. He goes to a level further and says that if you say and enact, like saying means in a group discussion, maybe in a TV talk, saying. But if you enact it, like you do a skit, you enact it, you're saying, seeing, hearing, all put together, the chances you'll retain after 2 weeks is 90%. If you enact it, the people normally have to do a skit. In schools, you enact a skit. We're talking about halal, inshallah. If you ask them to enact after 2 weeks, average human being will repeat it 90%, 2 weeks. It doesn't give the scale after 2 weeks. So here we come to know that we use those media in which it will retain in your customers more. If you don't know what is what, many people do dawah is effective not knowing what is the pros and cons. So you as a dai knows technically what is pros and cons. The dawah effect is much more. Now I'm distributing books. He doesn't know what is the difference between book and. I'm doing for sake of Allah. Alhamdulillah, you'll get your sawab. But if you are more effective, you'll get more sawab. Chances of getting more sawab is more. Main is niya, main is Allah's help, hard work and technique. This I'm talking about is technique. Allah's help is you have to ask Allah directly. Hard work is your hard work. Third is technique. So each one has its pros and cons. Each media has its own speciality. Pros and cons. How to do writing. We have in our organization script writers. Script writer means their speciality is writing script. If you ask them to speak, out of 100, they may not get 10 also. In writing, they're very good. Some people are good in both. They are script writers. That's the technique. In media, there's specialization of journalism, which is a different ballgame altogether. So in media, when you go, there's speciality of journalism, there's speciality of editing, The speciality of cameraman, the direction, everything is a speciality. So these, in short, was talking about the media and its effectiveness. Talking about indirect media, which we shall touch, inshallah. Out of 4, we'll touch a little bit on the audio, video and social media to a greater extent, inshallah. Due to limitation of time. One day for social media is not sufficient. One day for satellite media is not sufficient. In satellite social media, alhamdulillah, we have 250 people employed full-time only for satellite and social media. Full-time paid employees we have got. Only for. We'll discuss that later on. It's a specialty by itself. We'll speak for a little bit time on the topic of dawah without a media, live and direct, in which this main training program is for. Dawah, when done live and direct, without a media, it may include a media. Like what I'm doing now is direct dawah, but I have a media in between, the audio media. Without this, I may have to strain my voice, I may have to call you closer. And so though it's a live and direct media, the advantage in live dawah and indirect dawah is the live dawah is more often a dialogue. You can question. And indirect dawah, the chances of questioning wasn't there earlier, but now it has been included. I told you technology is making it everything, all the negative factors to be removed. But previously when media came, there was no radio, only here, you can't ask. Television, you can hear and see it. So in indirect media, mainly it is a monologue one way. In a direct media, mainly it is a dialogue. You're doing dawah with a person, you're telling something, he's questioning you, he can agree with you, he can disagree, so it's a dialogue. More effective. Monologue is less effective, but the reach of the monologue is more. When I'm doing dawah through the radio station, million people. Satellite, hundreds of million. Direct, 1-to-1. Or 2 people, or 5 people, or 10 people. How many? 20. Now, because of public address system, I'm addressing 20 here, but I can address 100,000. The largest gathering I've addressed is 1 million people live. It's alhamdulillah the largest gathering in the world for any religious speaker, not a conference. Alhamdulillah. In India, in Bihar. That's in Kishanganj 2012. More than 1 million people live, not satellite. So the public address system we had many screens. So we can increase the quantity by including in it a media. So it's dawah live, at the same time including some medium. These are the main advantages, disadvantages between direct and indirect. But the indirect media also can be converted into a dialogue, like having on a radio broadcast station question answer session. I went to many countries, in Europe, in South Africa, in America. I'm having a session asking questions in the late 90s. Now you have even question answer session on television, which was not there earlier. Previously, the peace conference we did, we had to hire a satellite, the first conference. Without satellite, how can you see live? Now you can have on the Wi-Fi, on the internet, a broadband. Easier. Previously, live telecasting permission from the government, downlinking permission. Now no permission, direct. Now if I want to have this live, it's easy for me. I can show it live also. I don't want to show it, but I can. So the technology is improving and the disadvantages are being reduced. So the monologue can be converted into a dialogue in the media also. Each has its pros and cons. Now coming to the basic live dawah. Basic live dawah, direct dawah. It can either be done on an individual level or it can be done on a public level. This training program is mainly speciality of doing dawah on a public level. But when we say we are training you for a public level, we are killing 2 birds with 1 stone. When I train you for individual dawah, you cannot come on the stage generally. But when I'm training you for the public level, most of it can be used on an individual level also. So what you're doing on the public stage, if you do on an individual level, if not 100%, you will be successful more than 80%. Because we're training you for question answer also. But if you're trained as an individual, so a person who's a specialist, a 1-to-1, chances of him being also a specialist of stage is rare. If he has not gone on stage, okay, you're very good in talking 1-to-1, okay, now go on the stage. He may come and get cold feet. But a person who's speaking on the stage, if you ask him to speak one-to-one, if not the same effective, he'll at least be 80% effective. So therefore, we are teaching you something which is a higher standard. It indirectly includes the lower also. So therefore, we'll not spend much time on individual dawah one-to-one. I'll just give you a few examples which will be sufficient. In one-to-one dawah, you can do to a person who's known to you or unknown to you. There are a few tips you should remember in one-to-one dawah. Public dawah has many requirements which we'll deal in detail, inshallah, over the 33 days. But what's used in public dawah, most of it, if not all, can be used on one-to-one. But there are certain techniques in one-to-one dawah which if you don't know, because in one-to-one dawah you may do with a stranger or with a known person. Stranger means you're traveling in a bus or in a train. You know that the person sitting next to you is unknown to you. Maybe you're with him for 10 to 20 minutes. Now, how to do dawah with him in 10 to 20 minutes is a different technique. You're traveling in a plane. You know your flight is for 5 hours or for 6 hours. You know he's going to be with you. He cannot run away, correct? Now, how to do dawah with a stranger non-Muslim who is sitting next to you for 5 hours is a different technique. Unknown. If you don't do dawah, you may never meet him again in your lifetime. Imagine the co-passenger in the bus or the train or in the plane. Bus may be 20-minute journey, train may be 3 hours, plane may be 5 hours. If you don't do dawah to him, the chance you will meet him again in your life is negligible. Unknown person. Unknown. Known person traveling with a friend, you may travel with him again also. Therefore, I'm categorizing it into dawah to known people, dawah to unknown people. He's an unknown stranger. Imagine you miss the opportunity. You may never meet in your life. So things which are rarely acquired, if you miss that, you may never get that opportunity again.